Alright, so you'll need a flathead screwdriver, ratchet, 10mm socket. I use 2 extensions. Minimum you need 1 long one. Needle nose pliers for a spark plug socket. You'll see why in a bit. 5/8 spark plug socket. A low range torque wrench, one that has at least a range of 80 to 200 inch pounds, not in foot pounds, inch pounds. An 8mm socket. I use 2 ratchets, but 1 ratchet with both will be fine. And then this is the long extension. Something like this will be good. Alright, so first we're going to pull out this recirculation line. It just pulls right out. Do not bend it or anything when you do pull it out. It pulls straight out. Now we're going to take off this 8mm hose clamp. It's a hose clamp with an 8mm bolt on it. So you just unthread that, and that'll make the air duct come off from the air box, nice and easy. Now something that's a little trickier is getting to the second 8mm hose clamp. You see this is the air duct box here. It goes onto the throttle body. It's kind of underneath back. It's not hard, it's just a little awkward and weird to get to. So sorry about the bad angle. I unfortunately could, it's the best angle I could get. Hard to do and hard to get to. You do need 2 hands and you got to kind of go around. Now, do be careful that the fan, the radiator fan is right there, and you don't want to hit it and damage it, nor do you want it to actually kick in. You should be doing this when the engine is kind of cool, not hot in any way. So if you need to, even disconnect your negative battery to do it. Negative battery terminal, I should say. Alright, but as you can see, it's just a matter of loosening it. I'm currently ratcheting it nice and slow out there. There's not a lot of room to work with. Not hard to do. Again, just a little awkward. And then once you do, just kind of wiggle it, and it'll come right off the throttle body. And then there's 2 plugs and grommets in the back, so you just grab and pull right up. Boom, and that comes right off. There you go. There's the 2 grommets there. Let me go to those 2 plugs in the back. So now we're going to take off this engine cover. It just lifts straight out, so you're going to take off the engine oil filler cap, and you're just going to pull straight up, and it's just kind of unclip as you go. It's 3 plugs and grommets plus the oil filler cap itself. So you just lift and boom, comes right out. And we're going to put the oil filler cap back in just to make sure nothing gets in the engine. Now, all 4 plugs are exactly the same. There's no variances, so I'm only going to show you this one right here. No point in showing the others because it's exactly the same. So first we're going to take off this coil plug. Just use your screwdriver, and you're just going to kind of go, and you can use a trim tool or whatever as well. Just kind of push it back bit by bit until you get more access behind it, and you'll just pull it right out. You see there. Pull back, and there you go. Now, pushing the button I found very hard as well, so I used the screwdriver as leverage to push the button down, and you'll kind of see it kind of pop right there. Dust came out too and everything. Then I was able to pull it off easy. I found it kind of hard to do. Now we'll do that coil plug bolt there. Just loosen it right out and pull the coil right off. Before you do this too, good idea to use a blower or something, compressed air, and blow out the area. You don't want any dust getting into your cylinders. So, good idea to blow it out beforehand. It looked pretty clean, so I didn't bother. So now we'll put our spark plug socket on. Again, it's a 5/8, and we're just going to loosen that out and pull our plug. Now, again, I can't stress this enough. Do not do this when the engine is hot. You want to do it when the engine is cool because of the aluminum heads. So, yeah, definitely make sure you're doing it when the engine is cool. And then unscrew the plugs. Also, do not put, especially because it's aluminum heads, do not put anti-seize. I know it's a common thing with the old cast iron heads, but these new aluminum heads, you do not put anti-seize on them. If you do, that's at your own peril. And you can see the old plug. Now the new plug, the gap is set at 1mm or 0.040 inches. They should be pre-gapped because they're iridium plugs. However, you should always check the gap just to be sure they didn't get damaged in transport or anything like that. And always hand threaded in, so you can see I'm hand threading it. It's pretty much hand threaded all the way to hand tight. And then we'll do the final torque. It should go nice and smooth, so it should be all the way in. The final torque, as you can see there, is set to 180 inch-pounds, also 15 foot-pounds, or 20 newton meters. And you want to make sure you're torquing these to exact spec. If they're off a bit, it can throw off the ignition of the car. Now you can see the only reason why I had the pliers is because this was a brand new spark plug socket and it kept getting stuck. So I had my pliers to help pull that out. I don't know if you'll need that, but make sure there's a rubber hold down on the inside. You want to make sure it's not stuck on the plug either. So now we put our coil back in, and we are going to put our coil bolt. It's a long bolt. This tightens up actually only to 89 inch-pounds. So not much at all. Just tighten that up. I did it all by hand. And then I just did the final torque. And then after that, we put our spark plug wiring, coil wiring back on, and make sure you push the lock in as well. So it just slides on and should clip. Yeah, there's the clip, and then push that plug in. There you go. So now the engine room cover is going to go right back on, and there's 3, like I said, grommets and plugs and the oil filler cap. They all line up right here. You can see 1, 2, and 3. We use your oil filler cap as your guide, so we're going to take the oil filler off as we have to anyways, and use that to line it up where it goes first. And then if everything goes well, you should be able to line the rest up, and you just kind of push down. In this case, I had to give it a good little kind of thump to get it on there, but once it was on, that's it. And then you put your oil filler cap back on as well. There you go. Now we are going to put on this air duct box. So you're going to put it on for the rear plugs first. Put the grommets on there. Push it down until it's nice and firm. And then as you push down on the air box onto the throttle body, you just kind of wiggle as you go and get it back onto the throttle body itself. There you go. You can see I wiggle on, and it should just kind of down. You see, almost kind of slid right on, right? Then from there, you're going to use your 8mm. Again, kind of awkward to do. I found actually this probably the most annoying part of the job, to be honest, and it wasn't even that big of a deal, but it's just more annoying than anything else. So you just tighten that up and make sure it's tight so air can't escape out. You can't pull it off, but don't over tighten it because I've seen people warp them if you tighten too much. So you're just tightening enough so that if you pull, see, it's nice and firm, it doesn't come off. Then you're going to do the same for the air duct here. Put it on the air box and tighten that up. And again, there's no torque spec to these specifically. You're just tightening until that hose clamp is good and firm against the air box and it can't be removed. I got a little bit annoyed, put on an extension, and just went down a little. It just became easier to move, see? And then after that, we just reconnect that recirculation line there. Just pushes right back in, and you're all done. Thank you everyone for watching. I do appreciate all the support out there. Don't forget to throw a like on that video if it helped you, if you found the information useful, anything like that. Make sure to like it. Don't forget to subscribe, help the channel grow, and hit the notification if you want to see more of my videos. If you dislike the video, that's okay, no problem at all, but don't be a troll, alright? Make sure you put why in the comments. I mean, maybe I missed something, maybe I got something wrong, maybe there's something you feel better or you didn't like how I filmed. Whatever it is, put it in there. I make these videos to help people out, so I can only make it better if I get the feedback, but I need the feedback. Just don't be trolling, alright? Otherwise, if you have any other comments, feel free to do so. I answer questions whenever I can. If you want to add something on there, if you have a helpful tip that maybe I didn't cover, I didn't even know about, make sure to put that in the comments as well. I want to thank everyone, and I will see you all next video.